today. We are here at the mystery craters. People don't know why they were created or how. Was it volcanoes, meteorites, maybe water, or even aliens? Well, let's go and have a look at them and then find out what caused this. Now, while we're walking, they were discovered in 1971. This whole area used to be market gardens, and the owner at the time was trying to extend his garden when he hit some solid rock. After a lot of digging, they discovered these formations. So let's go and have a look.
The mystery craters is an unusual natural rock formation and are believed to be part of the Elliott.
It's hard to hear the commentary for the wind, plus the volume is quite low, so I'll summarize the commentary for you. The craters are thought to date back about 25 million years ago. They were formed by sandstone, siltstone and red ochre churning together. The red ochre is evenly distributed through the colored sandstone, which is quite unusual. The craters also have different water levels, indicating that they are not linked in any way underground. They have dug down to about 16 meters in one of the craters and found water or an aquifer, but they think most of the craters, or all the craters actually, were empty initially, but over the millennia have filled up with silt and sand and things. So without further ado, let's head down and do a walk around the craters and look at them close up.
Replica of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Existed after 65 million years ago in various countries, including Australia. A large collection of common polished irons, fossils and a coin collection. And don't forget to see our large collection of old machinery and wares around the park for your convenience. Souvenirs and refreshments are also available in the shop. We thank you sincerely for visiting us, and we trust that your stay has been a very pleasant one indeed. The mystery craters is an unusual natural rock formation and are believed to be part of the Elliott Formation, over 25 million years old. Since the park opened in April 1973, the sequence of the 35 craters formed in a massive slab of sandstone, siltstone and red ochre.
Very interesting formation where the ochre is embedded in the sandstone.
Many interesting theories have been put forward, including part of a large meteorite or erosion or movement of seawater. But most
They say some of the craters with water in them, the water levels are uneven and therefore they're not connected underground. And they claim they've never found the bottom of some of these. So it's an interesting combination. There's a mock rock floating about. As mentioned, this rocky surface extends about 5 kilometers in one direction and is a bit wider than that, but this is the only area that has actual craters in it. Interesting and fascinating landscape. There's about 32 craters, they say, here, and they know of another 3 which haven't been uncovered from the dirt. So, what do you think? Aliens, volcanoes, meteorites, or just water? Well, according to one report from a geologist, these are probably most likely what they call sinkholes. Well, that's what the geologists tend to explain them away as. So, at least let's hope it's not aliens. It's a strange rocky phenomena with ochre embedded, which is not seen in many other places, or I gather rarely anywhere else. Oops, yeah, it is empty. Fascinating how the nature manages to create all these things. Obviously, if you give someone 25 million years, then anything can happen. Well, now you've seen the mystery craters, possibly have a likely explanation. So, if you ever come to Bundaberg area, it's definitely worth a visit. Well, there's a T-Rex here, or at least a replica. So.
On the way out, you will find a large collection of carbon-polished stones, fossils, and a Kolan collection. And don't forget to see our large collection of old machinery and toys around the park.
They also have lots of old machinery here, farm equipment, so let's have a look at that. Well, here's a Ford saw, maybe a pre-runner to Ford. What's it called? Fordson. Interesting. Fairly old, I reckon. Well, a lot of old equipment in here. Lawn mowers. there's no mystery alien ship that could have created those craters. A bit of a saw blade. Looks like some of the equipment is what I would call homemade. Like that saw, a wooden saw, looks like a normal motor hooked up to a saw blade through a homemade gearbox. Interesting. More lawnmowers. The good old Victor. Then chainsaws. Oh, they have vintage labels, so they seem to be from the 90s, 50s, the oldest one. Ah, kerosene heaters. Well, if you're running any of these old equipment still, you might be able to get spare parts from here. Well, here's a bit of history. Here's the market gardens in 1971. After trying to extend it, he ran into some rock formations, which he realized he couldn't dig down through. Then nearby there were more rock formations, so he started by excavating one of the largest craters. And then over time more and more came to daylight. So like an aerial view would be here, bird's eye view. And then there are some articles here about the mystery craters dating back to the 70s. Well, now you have it. They also have lots of rock formations here. So there's plenty to see. Even have fossils here. Bit of money from all over the world. And a turtle. Well,